Welcome back. Today I'm going to be exploring an abandoned part of the Northern Central Railroad just off the end of the Ashland Station Rail Trail entrance. Alrighty, so right now we're at the Ashland parking lot on the Northern Central Railroad Trail, and I'm going to be taking us down the abandoned right-of-way from Ashland to York Road. This is the start of the trail here in Ashland, and before I get out of the car, it's currently 17 degrees. It's gonna snow in a few hours, so I have to be pretty quick about this, but over here you can see some of the original buildings. The original station was raised in the 60s. The original post office, which is that away, is still here. Most of these houses are made of stone. And Ashland was originally built to service the Ashland Iron Works, which would have been somewhere over that way. Okay, the first part of my journey takes me northbound on the trail towards one of the old milepost signs. Okay, I took a small detour, but it's taken me to the edge of this small pond just off the side of the right-of-way. Okay, never mind. This is actually a really worthwhile detour. Gotten me to this small part right off the edge of the pond, where we can see some stonework and pieces of what looks to be slag from the ironworks. And slag is the leftover material from the smelting of iron, which would normally be dumped on the side of a hill like this. So, yeah. Okay, I came here looking for rail history, but I accidentally found the original site of the Ashland Iron Works. This is back here. It's not very easy to see on camera, turns out, but there's quite a large flat area back in these woods over here that used to be a part of the original ironworks that closed its doors in the mid-1880s. The Ashland Iron Works was founded in 1844 with the construction of its first furnace. Ashland, the town, would soon follow, being a home for workers of the factory. Ashland was such named for it was the name of Henry Clay's Kentucky estate. Henry Clay being our country's 9th Secretary of State, serving under John Quincy Adams. At the foundry's height, the works was the 3rd largest producer of pig iron in the country. Pig iron was the raw material used in steelmaking, employing 250 people who lived around the foundry and filling 200 rail cars per week that were distributed via the Northern Central Rail line, which serviced the plant. The plant shut its doors for the final time in mid-1884 as the Bessemer process slowly took business away from the manufacturing of pig iron. Remnants of the plant can still be seen on the outskirts of Ashland, right on the side of the Loch Raven Reservoir. Alright, so now we've gotten to the what I like to call the abandoned part of the Northern Central Rail Trail. Now this section originally ran from what was Cockeysville Station, which is now occupied by an auto body shop, and to Ashland Station, which was in the parking lot that we just passed by. Looking at some of these trees, you can really get to see the different layers of ballast and all of the work that it took to build up this part of the embankment. Because as you can see, there's a small cut on this side and a fill over here where the riverbank meets up with the grade. And now over here, as we're approaching the first bridge over Western Run, you can get a look around. This is what would be northbound along the Northern Central. Over here, which I'll take a look at in a second, there's a piece of rail, 130-pound rail that is left over. And then we approach Western Run. So as we look at the bridge abutments here, you can see the original stone abutments that would have been part of the original BNS bridge, Baltimore and Susquehanna, and then you can see the additions added by the Pennsylvania Railroad, which are concrete. As far as I know, there's been at least 3 bridges in this area. Later on, I will show some pictures that I can match up with different sections of the bridge. Now, this is as far as I'm going to go along the trail itself via in person, because my leather gloves are doing absolutely nothing for this weather. But you can see here an original telephone pole that would have run along the line. And over here you can see, right there, you can see some remnants of Hurricane Agnes, which closed this section of line in 1972, August of 1972. And that large outcropping there, that sort of triangular outcropping, was originally for splitting logs and ice that would have gone down this way, I believe. But yeah. Next, we're going to be continuing on past the so-called Low Bridge towards a former block station that would have been along the line. And we're going to see some remaining trackage between the block station and the high bridge, which is near the pointed arrow. Before that, we get to what I was referencing before with some of the remnants of Hurricane Agnes. These pictures were taken back in December. In the next picture, you can see the remnants of a bridge timber, which is very similar to the ones that are shown in a Penn Central Post article after the Agnes flooding. Something that really gave away the position of this bridge to me is that Penn Central Post article. In that article, you can see a telephone line in the background near the north side abutment. And that one matches up precisely with the telephone pole in the picture. Here you can see some of the remaining trackage that was neglected to be pulled up when the line was converted into a rail trail in the 1980s. During this time, the high bridge was also removed, and you can see that in some of the other pictures that I will show. Then we get to the former block station, where we have 2 remaining 509 position light signals, one with a face, one without a face, and to the left of the picture, there are the still remaining boxes and control elements that would have gone to the signals. And to the right picture, behind where I'm facing, should be the remains of a small interlocking that was controlled by the interlocking tower in Cockeysville. Past the start of the embankment, approaching the high bridge, would have been the southward abutment, which is still in place right over Beaver Dam Run, as well as part of the north side abutment, which is still there, mostly though just blocks put in place to prevent erosion. Past that are the drop bins for the distillery that would have been serviced by the line just below where it says drop bins on this photograph. And just past that, a small arch runs over a little creek. And this then approaches Cockeysville Station and the York Road underpass. Something that's been a great resource for me during this project has been the trainweb.org's Northern Central Railway Modern Day Photo Tour. It has given me much of the information and many photos and references that I've taken into account when making this video. With that said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.